set it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
I'll set it. Or else what you can do, just take a mobile phone and again take a video capture from the screen, no problem.
Now, sir, we are taking down notes, but the ones who haven't come to the lecture, so they can download at
Yeah,
some
okay.
different time.
Yeah.
That's the
But
reason.
I don't know whether that video also possible to record. We will try. I set that one to record, but we will see once I complete the lecture. I'll check that whether the audio also record, video is recorded or no. We'll see. Don't
Okay,
worry.
sir. Thank you.
If something happen, we will try to find some software. If you want, I can give the softwares. There are some softwares. You can run that application on the screen. Then that particular software will take the video capturing part of the screen.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see. So write down small paragraph. Basically, amplifier can be divided into two different types depending on their power or the voltage gain. Depending on their power or voltage gain. First one, write down small signal amplifiers. First one, small signal amplifier. Within a bracket, write down, we call this one as the voltage amplifiers. Voltage amplifiers. Write down under this one small paragraph. Voltage amplifiers are designed to amplify. Voltage amplifiers are designed to amplify very small signal voltage levels, very small signal voltage levels of only a few microwatt from sensors or the audio signal, sensors or the audio signals. Write down the second one. We call the large signal amplifiers. Within the bracket, power amplifiers. Large signal amplifiers, or we call the power amplifiers. Write down a small paragraph for this. The main function of the power amplifier is deliver power which is product of voltage and current to the load. Voltage and current to the load. power amplifiers is often last output stage of an amplifier system. Power amplifiers is often last output stage of an amplifier system. Amplifier system. Basically, we define the efficiency of the amplifier something like this. Efficiency of amplifier, we define something like this. Neta equal P out divided by P in, something like this. This P out we define, average signal power delivered to the load. And then this P in we define as average power drawn from DC source. When you use the transistor amplifier circuits, that circuit is drawn some power from your DC power source. And when you give the input signal to the input side, then based on that input signal fluctuation, you will experience output voltage also fluctuated. So efficiency of the amplifier we define by using this equation. P out represents the average signal power delivered to the load. It might be probably AC power. And to give that power to the load side, the amplifier circuit consumes some power from the DC source. That part represented by the P in. So when you represent this one as a percentage wise, this one we call the efficiency of the amplifier. So just note down this equation. Basically, we refer this definition to show the efficiency of the amplifier. Efficiency of the amplifier. Can you see this screen? Can you see black color screen? Okay. So if you want to amplify the signal, sometime the one amplifier, one transistor circuit is not enough. Sometimes you have used number of transistors, might be NPN transistors. So you have to use some number of transistors, and by connecting those as a multi-staging, or what we call the multi-stage, by referring or by connecting some number of transistors, you can amplify your signal into high voltage level low, high current level low. You can upgrade your amplifier into the power amplifier. You can see this figure. So by referring this figure, you can identify how they improve that one, how they increase the current. You can see here as example, this transistor will produce some output, and that, just assume you can give some input voltage from this side. As example, you can give some sinusoidal signal from here. So once you feed some sinusoidal signal here, due to that input fluctuation, your IC current will be changed. IC will be changed. This IC might be fluctuated by the simple IC. And similarly, this capital IC or the direct component, IE component, might be fluctuated from IE amount. So there might be some fixed current IB due to this fluctuation of the base current, simple IB, you will experience some IC and IE fluctuation. Therefore, that fluctuation, due to that fluctuation, the current flow and the voltage also fluctuated. At that time, you can feed that uh, fluctuation voltage into this two terminal, and when the voltage fluctuated, here current flow also might be changed. And when this current is changed, as you know, here current also fluctuation, and here also current fluctuation, and here also current might be fluctuate. So if you use these type of multi-stage amplifiers, you can improve the current. The reason is once you increase the IB current, as you know, IC divided by IB equal beta. This is the relationship between IC and IB. So once you increase the IB current, as you know, you will experience that the IC also increase. And then here current will increase. Again, this current will feed to the base terminal. And then when the base current is increased, again here IC will be increased. Something like this. You can add number of amplifier circuit, something like this. This one we call the multi-stage. So by using one amplifier, you can amplify or you can improve the gain, and then by adding number of these transistor circuit or drives, you can increase the last stage current. So this is the idea of the power amplifier. If you use the power amplifiers, you can experience that the current rate is too high. So note down this one. You can see here we have cascaded system. Rather than using one amplifier circuit, you can embed the amplifier number of amplifier circuit as a cascaded. This one we call the multi-staging. Please draw the circuit diagram and write down this paragraph. Please put your registration number into the chat box. We have to take the attendance. To prove the attendance, only way is just put the registration number to the chat box. please send your registration numbers. I will go for the next slide. Hope you have write down this paragraph. If you want extra time, I can give. Otherwise, I will switch to the next slide. So I go to the next slide. So you can see here, when you feed some power to the load side, as you know, you have to measure the load. As example, if you change the load resistance, just assume this one represent the x-axis represent the load resistance RL, and power energized on this load resistance I refer as the P. As you know, this RS represent the internal resistance of the source. And if you change this RL value, the power dissipated to this load is fluctuated something like this. You have learned these things. This type of behavior you can experience when your RL equal to the RS, or what we call the source impedance. Then you can get the peak value for this power dissipation to the load. To transfer the maximum power to the load, you have to mesh this RL to the source impedance. Once you mesh this source impedance and the load impedance, you can deliver the maximum power to the load. Therefore, when you develop amplifier system also, you have to think about this one. To transfer the maximum power, you have to mesh the load with the source impedance. Then you can transfer the maximum power. To transfer the maximum power, as you know, you have to mesh the load impedance with the source impedance. So note down this one. Basically, you know this one, no problem. Just write down the circuit. Please draw this circuit and you can write down this small paragraph. The basic idea is you have to mesh the load impedance with the source impedance. Then you can transfer the maximum power from the source to the load. Basically, in the power amplifiers, we achieve this requirement with the support of the step-down transformers. I will explain how to do that one. With the support of the step-down transformers, you can ensure or you can mesh the impedance. I will show that one in the next figure. So just note down this one. Some of the systems are absent. I don't know what's the reason. Do you know the reason? Is it due to the internet issues or can you guess?
Yes, so internet issues and technical issues. Sometimes
Yeah,
they leave the meeting and again come because
rejoining. No,
rejoining.
the problem is this. This is the peak time. No, that's the problem. If you interest or if you agree, I can change that class time into the night time. Then you can do this one properly. The problem is now this is the peak time for the Zoom. So sometimes if you disconnect, very difficult to connect also. If you interest or if you agree, I can change the meeting time. At the night time, it's not okay. Off week.
Okay,
So
sir. So I will discuss with the batchmates and let you know.
yeah. If you interest, I can do around 9:30, 10:30, no problem. Anytime also okay. Okay. So let me
Okay.
know.
Okay, sir.
Please drop your registration number for the chat box. Don't forget it. Today, 6 systems participate for the lecture, 60. It's a good number, but around 10 missing, no? In your batch, you have 70 or how much you have? 80. In your batch, how many students are there? Batch ref is there?
Around 78, sir.
78, no? Around 20 missing. We will see. Around 20 missing. So I'll go to next slide. So note down this small paragraph. So this is the one of the option, the one mechanism. You can mesh the source impedance into the source impedance by using the step down transformer. Just assume the turn ratio of this transformer is represent here. Turn ratio is N1 and N2. simple, I will refer simple. So just assume here turn ratio is simple N1 and here turn ratio is N2. Then just assume this is your DC power source and you have amplifier circuit. Once you feed some alternative signal to here, and then the current also will be fluctuated to transfer the maximum power to this loudspeaker or something. You have to match the source impedance to the load impedance. To do that one, we can use this step down transformer. So basically, turn ratio you have to decide based on the Z1 and Z0. Z0 represent the input side impedance, and Z1 represent the load impedance or loudspeaker impedance. So if you know that impedance values, by using this equation, you can decide the turn ratio. With the support of this equation, you can measure the source impedance, or we call the Z out into the load side. Once you mesh these loads, then you can transfer maximum power to the load. As example, you can see here, if the loudspeaker impedance is 8 ohm, and then the transistor output impedance or the source impedance is assumed as the Z1, sorry, Z0 assumed as this, or Z0 equal 1800 ohms, and Z1 is 8 ohms, then you can refer these values to compute the turn ratio of the step down transformer. Then based on this turn ratio, you can develop the transformer and embed with the system. Then you can mesh the loads. This is one of the options. Please note down this one. Here, when you give the AC signal, then with the support of this DC source, you can deliver the power to this loudspeaker. To deliver that power, you are consuming some DC power from this supply. This is the DC power supply. From this DC source, you have a DC source. By using this DC source, you are drawn some power to amplify the signal, and then you deliver this power to the loads. To transfer the maximum power, you have to mesh the load. To do that one, you can want this one option. By using this step down transformer, you can achieve that one. So one of the solution. Please note down this one, draw this circuit diagram and write down this equation. You have to memorize these equations. So here I can define the another parameter, something like this. We call this one as the conversion efficiency, or we call the collect efficiency. We define another parameter for this circuit, something like that. We call this one as the collect efficiency. Collect efficiency. Collect efficiency. So this definition for this collect efficiency is something like this: neta equal AC power out to the load. AC power output to the load, just divide by DC power taken from the supply. Taken from the supply. So this equation represent, we call the collect efficiency. Here you can see here, this is based on the common emitter mode, and when you fluctuate the IB current, you can experience some IC fluctuations, and then to generate that fluctuations, the circuit absorb or drawn some DC current to the circuit. So that one is represented here. And then with the support of that fluctuation, you are delivering some AC power to this loudspeaker. So if you know this AC power output to the load, and if you know the DC power taken from the DC power supply, and then you can find some ratio. This ratio you can represent as the percentage wise, that we call the collect efficiency. This one we call the collect efficiency. So note down this equation. Next time I will use this definition to do some calculations. This ratio we call the collect efficiency. Collect efficiency. So I'll go to next slide. Just assume I will feed this type of input signal, or I'll feed some AC current to the amplifier circuit. When the IBs change, as you know, IC divided by IB equal constant. That one we call the gain. So by satisfying this equation in your previous slide, you can remember, you can give some power to the base terminal, and then when you reduce the base current, IC might be fluctuated. So this line represents the load line. You know how to get this load line. If you want, I can show that one as example. Just assume if we have this type of circuit, it's a transistor, and assume you have a resistor here, RC, and this is supply voltage, VCC. You can ground this terminal and feed some IB current from here. So this current we referred as the IE or emitter current. This current is IC. We call the collector current, and this is bias current. So if you think about this side, here voltage drop VCC, you can write down IC into RC plus VCE. VCE mean the voltage difference in between the collector and the emitter. So you can bring this VC into here, then IC equal, you can write down VCC minus VCE, and if you divide this one by the RC, your equation becomes something like this. And then IC you can write down VCC divided by RC minus RC into VC. So if you draw the graph by selecting the axis as something like this. This axis I will represent as VC, and this axis I will represent IC. Then you can see this one equal Y equal C minus MX type of graph. Therefore, your shape of the graph is something like this. This line we call the, as you know, load line. As you know, the load line. This one we call the load line. And if you know the IC current, just assume your IC is here or something, then this point we call the operating point. Operating point. Okay, so you know these things. Just assume you know the load line. Okay, this is the process how to find the load line. You can find these margins. This one equal to VCC, and this one you can compute by substituting VC equals 0. If you substitute here VC equals 0, this IC become VCC divided by RC. So you can find these marginal values, and then this one represents load line. Okay, so I just remind you. So how to get the load line? If you need, you can write down a small note for this one. If you're interested, you can write down how to get the load line. This is the process how to find the load line. I'll go to the previous slide. Hope you have enough time to draw these things. I'll switch back to the previous slide again. So just refer this graph, and when you fluctuate the base current, then IC also fluctuates. Just assume when you change your IB value, your IC values fluctuated in between these margins. Or you can reach to here also, no problem. You can reach to here. You can reach to here. It's the maximum level. So if you interest, you can reach to this level, no problem. Okay. So once you change, or once you let to change the IC current, then based on this IC, you can predict how this VC fluctuated. If you increase the margins, you can reach to here. You can achieve this range, something like that. If you increase your IB a little bit more, you can change this VC fluctuation from 0 to 10 volts, 10 volts. And you can increase this IC from 0 to 10 microamperes also. Okay, just assume if you apply a bias current, base current to fluctuate your IC something like this, then I have defined equation as the, can you remember that one? Collect efficiency. Collect efficiency. Collect efficiency is defined, if you check your note, you can find that. If you divide the AC power output the load by the DC power taken from the supply, you can compute the neta. So my plan is to compute the neta. I think time is not enough. Therefore, I'll repeat this one from next week. 1 hour is gone, no? Okay, I'll start from this point onward next week. So have a nice day for you. And this is a good experience for you as well as for us. So we will try to get the benefit from this online lectures. If you have any problem or issues, just let me know. This is somewhat peak time, therefore sometimes it's difficult to connect, or sometimes you might be disconnected. So if we have this experience continuously, we can change the time for the night, no problem. So I'll stop the lectures. So please put your registration number to the chat box. I'll take that one as attendance. Have a nice day. I will not send the, keep in mind that I will not send the, again, a Zoom meeting link. Refer the same link, password and ID for the next week lesson shows. Okay, keep in mind that I will not send the new link. You can refer the previous today link for next week also. So if I change, then I'll send the email and I'll update the batch ref. Otherwise, next Friday 1:30 again, you can use the same ID and password to log to the lecture sessions. Okay, so we'll meet next Friday 1:30. Have a nice day.